Hello, Paul.
Hi, Anthony. How you doing? It's great to talk to you, sir.
Pretty good, pretty good. How are you? Nice
I'm
to
doing
meet you.
well. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good. So tell me, what exactly is the Long Island, what's the program about, the Prevention Resilience Enrichment Program? What is that exactly?
Sure. So, as everybody knows, there's a pretty bad problem going on across the country with substance abuse, addiction and overdose, and the mental health crisis, with suicides and, both overdoses and suicides being at their highest that they've been in many, many years. So, Long Island Prevention Resilience Enrichment Program sets to address that. We like to involve everybody who's involved in a child's life to send them in the right direction in terms of staying away from drugs and alcohol, and basically working on their mental wellness, and give them the tools and the strategies they need to resist what's out there right now.
I like that. Yeah, I know. I deal with that every day at work. And so what's the mission?
Yeah, so what we aim to do basically is, work with kids, work with parents, in communities and schools, and basically get the message out there that the way out of this crisis is prevention and intervention, and treatment. Long time ago, somebody said something about a war on drugs, and this war on drugs is failing. It's been an epic failure. Our approach needs to change as a country, I think. And I think the answer to that has a lot more to do with prevention and intervention, than it does just throwing a lot of money at law enforcement. Not to, say anything negative about law enforcement. They have a job to do. But
Yeah.
I think that, there's a completely different direction we need to take to address the drug, overdose and mental health crisis going on across the country. So that's basically what we're trying to do. We have a curriculum that goes in schools, kindergarten through 12th grade. I developed a computer software program for intervention. So when there's a child in crisis, we want to work with all of their stakeholders, their parents, their teachers, people involved in their lives to help them through their problems before they develop into bigger problems, addiction, things like that.
Of course. How'd you get into that? How'd you get into all this?
Well, I've been a teacher for 20 years. I'm very lucky to say I've never been the victim of addiction or alcoholism. I'm pretty lucky in that sense. But just seeing the way these two crises have impacted our kids and their families and our schools and stuff, just being kind of an observer for 20 years and then realizing there's a lot of gaps that can be filled. And the way we fill the gap, is with education and information, awareness, and just getting, kind of getting everybody on the same page that, hey, we have a problem in this country. It's been going on for a long time and it's time for a new approach. So I just kind of took all the information that I know, all of my experience as an educator and developed, these three, programs.
That's great. Do you keep track of your success rate?
Yeah, so we officially launched 2 years ago. So we've been kind of sporadically getting our numbers up in terms of the services and the communities that we serve. And 2023 and 2024, we kind of broke through. We've been in several schools, several school districts with our curriculum, with our community awareness seminars. We just have a contract with Nassau County PAL with Suffolk County. They have a settlement with the opioid companies. So we got a grant with Suffolk County. So we're really, landing and expanding, getting out into our communities to get this message out.
So what would help the program the most then? People or, how could you get the most help?
Yeah, so I think for us, it's exposure with the school districts, it's exposure with parents and with communities because,
Right.
Addiction and mental health they impact everybody. So, the more people see what we do and who we are, the more kids, the more parents we can help. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to approach it from all angles. So for us, it's just getting the word out that this is who we are and this is what we're doing.
That's great. That's great. Any organizations? What organizations would you like to thank? Who's helping you at this point? Anybody in particular?
Yeah, so specifically, thank you for that. I would definitely like to mention P.S. I Love You Day, who was started by two young ladies who lost their father to suicide 14 years ago. So out on Long Island, actually in the school that I teach in, it happened when Brooke was in 8th grade and when Jamie was a senior. They lost their father to suicide. So they created a program for suicide prevention called P.S. I Love You Day, which is basically island-wide on Long Island. People around New York know it. They know it well. And their position is, let's get out and spread this word for suicide prevention. So I really took a lot of, pages from their book in that, the more we're aware of something, the more information we have, the more chances we have to, spot a red flag and intervene and get people onto the right track, So that's basically what we're, trying to do.
That's great. That's great. So there's an event coming up at how do you pronounce that again?
Mulcahy's. Yeah.
Long Island. Give us some information on that, and how do people purchase tickets for these events?
Sure. So it's our second annual Mental Health Matters Gala. It's going to be at Mulcahy's Pub and Concert Hall in Wanto, Long Island on May the 23rd. We have a great lineup of people coming out. The aforementioned Brooke and Jamie DePalma of P.S. I Love You Day will come out. We have Paul Frees, who is a former New York Jet. Ray Cash Care, who inspired the movie with Tom Hanks, Captain Phillips. He was the one who went on the boat there and took out the Somali pirates, back then, when that happened. Jackie the Joke Man Martling is coming to give us some laughs. So we have a really good lineup of people who want to come out and just talk to the community about mental health and inspire people to, hey, look, this is something that is happening all over the country with every family, whether it's, personal to you or your mom or your dad or your brother or sister. Mental health and addiction impact everybody. So we're trying to get, people out to Mulcahy's on May 23rd, to celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month. And we're, kind of hoping to pack the place because, like I said, these are two really, really important issues that everyone needs to pay attention to.
Definitely. Without a doubt. I commend you. Yep. I deal with it every day at work. I deal with it in my own family. I mean, I work in a detox, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's all we deal with. Yeah, in my own field. Well, Paul, listen, it was a pleasure. Maybe we'll get to meet one day in person when I'm up in New York.
I would love that.
I commend you. Really, good luck.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right. You have a great day. Thanks, bud.
All right.
At Long Island Prevention and Resilience Enrichment Program, we believe the drug overdose and mental health crisis impacting our communities requires a multi-pronged approach. Centered on prevention, education, a renewed focus on social-emotional wellness learning and intervention. We believe knowledge is power, so of course we want to educate our children in school with robust kindergarten through 12th grade curricula that focuses on all of these. And we've got that. Of course, we want to close that information gap of what parents know at home and what teachers see in school. So adult education and professional development for parents, educators, and professionals in our communities is another key factor in dismantling this crisis. Long Island Prevention and Resilience Enrichment Program has that. But what happens when it is discovered that a child is in crisis or struggling emotionally? What happens when a child is headed down the wrong path and needs a robust intervention plan to set them on the right track? Now, with our recurring individualized communicative addiction prevention plan, Long Island Prevention and Resilience Enrichment Program has that. We will work with the crisis intervention teams in your school to identify red flags and create a targeted intervention plan. We will assemble a team of stakeholders closest to the child to work together and see the plan through, with goals and benchmarks, resources, and a communication plan to keep everyone working together to help that child. Our communication plan is built right into the recap document, designed to keep everyone working the plan on the same page. Using our assistive technology computer software, our comprehensive plans include renewed focus on mental wellness, effective drug abuse prevention strategies, positive alternatives to substance abuse, and meaningful connections to family and community, so no struggling child can slip through the cracks. Yes, Long Island Prevention and Resilience Enrichment Program has that. And we want to work with you and your school to bring all of these programs into your toolbox to help our children face down the worsening crisis in our communities. Join us, because our children are the future. Let's make it smarter together.